Hi everybody, welcome. Now that Kirby Air Riders has been out for a little while, I thought we could just go over a few tips and tricks for the beginners because I've seen a couple of mistakes and I thought there's just a little bit of information that might be able to help you out. So first of all, there are two legendary vehicles. There's the Hydra and the Dragoon. Dragoon is really good at flying, and the Hydra is really fast and really strong. And these legendary cars can be found in little pieces throughout City Trial. And when you're looking for them, you see an icon over people's heads when they have one of the pieces, and you could kind of go after them to try to get the piece. The thing is, so if you get one of these cars and you get all of the pieces, then you're not guaranteed to win, but there's a strong likelihood. The thing to think about though, if you're not the one with these pieces, you still get a notification on your screen when you're playing that says that someone else has made the car. Don't pick that mini game. That's just my recommendation in that case. If they already have the car and it's either like a short race or target flight, maybe choose the target flight because they're more likely to go to short race. You know what I mean? The second tip is going to be these little squares. They're like elevators, and there have been so many games where I go in there and I am just absolutely dominating in the mini game because I don't think people realize there are like 2 or 3 levels within that space that you're given. And so when you're only fighting everybody on the main floor, you can go up there and find really big like pieces of food or extra buttons. Those are like 2 of the examples of the games that have them, the Gourmet Race and then the Button Rush. So just remember, there are more than 1 level, and I kind of don't want to tell you because I don't want to start losing, but it's important you know. That's kind of like an elevator. And speaking of being vertical, there is a sky island. So if you happen to look up, you will see this beautiful sky island, and if you're the first one there, there's usually a lot of power-ups up there. So if you have a car that can fly, it might be in your best interest to get up there. Also, a really important thing is to know your ride. So every vehicle has its own base stats, and these base stats are what those recommended mini games are based on. So when you're picking the mini game after, or the stadium, it's gonna go based off your car stats. But if you saw, they'll show you your stats after. If you saw maybe that you might not be in the fastest car necessarily, but you have 45 top speed, the minigame might not take that into consideration, where you can choose the best stadium for you based on those stats that you got. And honestly, just like a little bonus tip, anything is better than the starting car. So unless you're trying to get that specific check mark where you get 3rd place with the starting star, I would recommend you just kind of go off and pick any other car and you can work with what you got. Okay, another thing about stats, if they're grayed out, that means it's negative. As you fly around, you might see a glide, you might see a power up, you might see a charge, and all of these have a different color and they look a little bit different. So when you're driving around, you can pick them up, you can try to think strategically, like if I'm in a bulky car, I might want to grab extra weight, so when I hit people, I hit them extra hard. But if I am in like the glide star or something like the paper star, where I know I want to be light, and I don't necessarily want, I want to be able to fly. I probably don't want all that weight. You know what I mean? So just keeping that in mind while you're driving around, those negative stats can help you out if you notice maybe I have a lot of weight, or I feel like I'm getting a lot of these things I don't necessarily want. You can go in, and if you find the negative ones, be like, ooh, now's a great time to get a negative weight. Collecting everything that you can is great, but you can specialize. So if you know you have a winged star, you know you want to maybe get weight down and glide up so you can fly even better. Speaking of stats, you can check them, okay? Like when you're in there, press plus and you can see your stats before the mini game is over. If you're in there and you notice that you have way more glide than you thought you did, but you're driving like a big bulky car, you might consider going off and looking for maybe a car that would fit the stats you have a little bit better. Now I know it's not easy because it's never guaranteed what you're gonna find, but just having these little strategic tweaks can really make you do a lot better. A bonus tip is you can make this little guy cry. If you know, you know, and if you know, you're probably not watching this video, but in the original Kirby Air Ride, you can make him cry. I don't know why you would want to, but I do it sometimes. My license even has a little fake him crying. I made it myself. So you can make him cry. It is one of the checklist items that you can do. It's not nice, but it's kind of interesting, you know? There's also a hidden area. If you drive to the very top of the volcano, you can go down into the moon. Now, I don't know why the moon is in the volcano. It might not be the moon, but it looks like the moon. There's a moon in the volcano. And once you go down there, again, there might be power-ups, there could be boxes, you might find legendary car pieces. But also, once you're down there, the only way to get out is to shoot back up. And when it shoots you way into the sky, so if you do have a vehicle that can fly, that's a great way to get from the ground to that sky island I was talking about earlier. Okay, beware of the edge. So you can fall off the edge. I've actually done it 3 times. I'll show you here. Usually I'm kind of flying around and it gets a little out of hand and I whee all the way down and off the edge, and then you lose items. So I would recommend not doing that. Last but not least, have fun, okay? So City Trial is chaos, explore, get to know your cars, feel it out, pick your favorite stadiums, learn what you like, and keep playing. If you discovered any other tricks or shortcuts, please do share them below. Drop them in the comments and we can all get a little bit better together. City Trial is my favorite and I hope you guys enjoy it too.